Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. It is kind of, I was going to say the beginning of, but it's really not. We're well into the competition season for shooting and all different kinds of shooting events. But a lot of people don't have any idea how many different kinds of shooting competitions there are. Trap, skeet, sporting, clays. You got high power, traditional bullseye pistol. You got long range competition now that it's a variation of. We used to call long range like the 600-yard stuff at Camp Perry, and now we got even longer range than that. And of course, you got IDPA, USPSA, action pistol, which all came from PPC. I mean, it goes on. And then of course, 3-gun. Well, what's it take to become a good shooter? Well, what was the old line? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. But there's more to it than that. And somebody who's actually very good at this and knows a lot of this stuff is Tess Albs. She joins us right now. She's a competitive shooter, also the Director of Communications for Hi-Viz. Hey, Tess, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. How goes the season?
It's good. Very, very busy, but it's very good.
Where have you been shooting?
This year, pretty much just been at home lately. Honestly, been working really hard. But I'm looking to travel around the U.S. a little bit more come the end of summer and through the fall. Okay,
so you're going to kind of hit the tail end, the back half of the season for your shooting then?
Yes, I am.
Are you getting to practice at all?
I do. I do a lot of dry firing at home. But I actually, when I work a lot or when I'm traveling a lot for work, I focus more on the fitness aspect of it all. So
well, I was going to ask you about that because I know that you are a fitness, shall we say, fanatic. I mean, this is serious stuff to you. And the question I'm asking is, people think, okay, yeah, if you're going to be doing physical action sports, you got to work out, you got to be fit. Where does this play in terms of the shooting sports?
Well, a little bit of my background, I actually got into the shooting sports through modern pentathlon, and that includes 5 different sports of running, swimming, shooting, fencing, and horseback riding. And so I learned early on how important the other sports actually affected and improved my shooting. So that's one thing that I have carried on with me throughout my career, and I believe it's been a differentiator for me on the field compared to a lot of others out there. And when you think about it, there are 10 general components to fitness that they measure fitness on, and they include cardiovascular respiratory endurance, stamina, strength, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy. And one that I kind of add in there too that really applies to shooting is reaction time. The first four things that we talk about are more organic and measurable under a microscope. But the number one thing at the top of the list that helps me with shooting is cardiovascular respiratory endurance.
Right.
And that's pretty much the body's ability to transfer oxygen. And one thing that people don't really take into account a lot of times with shooting is that your eyes require a lot of oxygen in order to see the sights correctly and to take information in. And so improving your cardiovascular respiratory endurance is one of the most important things for shooting that anybody in any shooting sport can actually benefit from. The better your body can transfer oxygen, the more you're going to benefit from it.
Okay, let me put a personal twist to that because I'm a pilot, and we learned that flying at night, you need to be on oxygen above about 5,000 feet, and at 8,000 feet, if you take the oxygen off, the stars disappear. When you put the oxygen back on, you can see the stars again, which goes exactly what you're talking about. Your eyes need oxygen, which means they need, as much air to process. And if your body isn't able to do that, your vision's going to suffer.
Absolutely. I've never heard that analogy, or I've never heard that happening before, but that's fascinating. But definitely, I feel like the same thing transfers to shooting. If your eyes aren't able to read things correctly, you can't see the sight picture. And it doesn't matter if you're shooting a red dot, if you're shooting open sights or reticle. That's one of the most important things in shooting. If you can't see correctly, you're not going to hit your target right. So.
Interesting. The other thing is, a lot of the shooting you do now, the popular sports involve movement and action. You're running, you're stopping, you're shooting. I kind of almost liken it to we think about biathlon, where they just go like crazy and then they have to stop. And I call it like threading a needle, shooting 22 rifles at small targets. If you can't process the oxygen, you're in a world of hurt at that point.
Absolutely. So the cardiovascular respiratory endurance is the one that I feel the easiest for anybody to actually start practicing because it doesn't require equipment. However, when you get to the firing line, it is very important that you're able to lower your heart rate, transfer oxygen better. But that's also where the last four come into play of coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy.
Okay.
When you're starting to do sports there, you move and things like that. Those things are very important, and those are what we consider neurological. So those are the ones where it determines or how your mind and your body connect together. And so, one, if you increase oxygen and then you do physical fitness or something to help train those last four, you're going to actually be a better athlete on the firing line, regardless of what shooting sport you do. But most particularly, you're going to be better in those that require action, such as biathlon, USPSA, IDPA, 3-gun, etc.
Mm-hmm. I see pictures of you picking up heavy weights. Is strength training important, and if so, why?
I do. Yes, it is. I believe it is very important. As I said, if you do strength training, you can actually improve all of the 10 general physical skills. It requires flexibility, it requires coordination, it requires balance, and also cardiovascular endurance. And so doing a little bit of strength training, is not mandatory, but it is definitely helpful in all shooting sports. You don't have to lift 300 pounds on a deadlift per se to have benefits of strength training. But in the shooting sports, one of the things that we do is lift a small weight for your firearm time and time again. And over time, that can actually create imbalances throughout your body. But also, if you do it if you do have a long course of fire throughout a day, you actually are accumulating a larger percentage of weight that you have moved. And so strength training outside of the shooting sports can actually help prevent injury, and it can help create body balance, which I know a lot of shooters sometimes get imbalances because they stand in one position or they only shoot with their strong hands. And so doing strength training outside of the shooting sports can actually benefit you.
I remember shooting doves in Argentina. You're shooting 500 or 1,000 birds a day. Mm-hmm. And toward the end of the second day, I absolutely could not pick up the gun fast enough to swing to get in front of a bird. I was toast at that point. Right,
because even a shotgun at that point it doesn't weigh 5 to 7 pounds, but you lift that 500 times, and that's a lot of weight moved.
It is. It really is. Okay, question for you. Would yoga help?
Absolutely. I actually define fitness as any program that is motivating to you and that you are willing to show up for. But that's something that is not – a lot of people discount that. They say, well, that's not interesting to me, so I'm just not going to do it. And I'm like, well, find something that can. But, yoga is great. It actually helps with flexibility. It helps with oxygen transfer, coordination, agility, and balance, and accuracy. And those things are all really important in all shooting sports.
All right, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I need you to tell me about Hi-Viz. What are you doing there, and what's Hi-Viz up to these days?
I'm the Director of Marketing and Communication, and we make tritium fiber optic and fiber optic sights for rifles, pistols, and shotguns. And we're just out here trying to make the world of shooting better, help people hit more targets and have more fun.
And once you start using these sights, it's kind of like, holy cow, somebody just turned on the lights. This is great.
They are great and we have an interlocking light pipe system, which is patented just to us, which is also helpful whenever your day, the light changes from day to afternoon. You can interchange your light pipes based on stages or lighting as you need.
Very cool. What's the website for Hi-Viz?
It's HIVIZsights.com.
There you go. Tess, thank you so much for being here. We're going to get you back when we can talk about this at greater length, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for having me.